y'all, and welcome back to Faith, Family, and Fun Reviews. If you're new here, on this channel, I share with you delightful, family-friendly, and faith-based movies and television shows. So we're going to go ahead and get into our special feature today, which is titled Someone Like You. You can actually find this film premiering right now at your local theaters, but first, let me tell y'all what this film is about. After a tragic loss of his best friend, a grieving young architect launches a search for his secret twin sister. Now, friends, we have been anticipating this film. We've been waiting for it for many months now. If you have not watched my trailer reaction for this film, feel free to scroll back to that video history and watch that so you know where I was, okay? Now, I'm going into this thing, as I said in my trailer reaction, not knowing anything about them. Even though that this film is based off a Karen Kingsbury novel, I have not read the novel. And for one, I am very happy about that because I wanted to watch this film strictly judging the film based off the film alone. I didn't want to have that backstory. I didn't want to really be biased here and all of that because I know exactly what happened. So for those of you who go into this film haven't read the novel and you have that backstory, so you know where you know what to look for, you know what's coming, all that kind of stuff, I think this film would be such a treat for you. It would be a delight, as any film would be when you first read the book. That is one of the perks of reading the book first. It's like that treat. It's like those sprinkles on top of ice cream here for those of you who are going into it like that. But for those of you who just going into it strictly based off the film alone and you have no backstory, you're not biased here, you're just going like that, okay? This is going to be the review for you, all right? Because that's how I went into this film. And I have to say, something felt like it was missing here. I don't really know what it was, and I know I shouldn't even really be starting at this place, but it just kept nugging at me. After this film has long ended, I left the theater. I just kept thinking about it for many hours after the fact. I'm just like, what was it, beloved? Why? I just felt something was missing. But I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna come back to that point. I just had to start there because it was just on my mind. But anyways, yes, here we meet Dawson. Dawson is an architect. He is amazing, such a good guy. He has a great deal of loss, like from his own family and different things like that. So automatically we're feeling for him. I love the house that he lives in, that he built that house. He's out on the lake, all that kind of stuff. That is amazing. The scenery here is awesome. You all are going to love the bright colors, and just, they did an amazing job with just looking at the behind the scenes as far as, you know, directing, the cinematography, all that kind of stuff, all that technical stuff that I'm not really into and I don't really focus on this channel. But I have to say it was amazing. I want to point that out because many people issues a lot of times with faith-based films will make them hesitant to watch it is because of that quality. They feel like it's not as, you know, the best as something else. But for here, you're not going to notice any difference if this was another genre. Everything is wonderful. The quality, all of that is top notch. You're gonna love it if that's what you're into. However, for the storyline here, for me, friends, I just felt like, I don't know if it was because, and maybe they did their job in that way, because I know you can't capture everything in the book. You only can do so much here. And so that's the only sad part about films when you're adapting them from books, is you can't get every single detail, especially when you're on a budget. You only have a certain amount of days to film this and get this done and wrap it up. So yeah, that is one of the things about film here. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and continue on with this whole storyline. So yes, right off the bat, we do meet Dawson. Amazing. He just draws us in. The actor who plays him, he is likable, and so right off the bat you're gonna like him, you're gonna fall for him. So yes, I did. I fell for Dawson. All right, yes, I will too. Okay, anyway, so then we are introduced to his best friend London. London does just seem amazing. Like their friendship, they are best friends here. London seems like outgoing, very perky, loving, seems like she has a positive outlook on life, just a delightful person to be around. She's one of those people that when she walks into the room, that it changes the atmosphere automatically. Like you're happy, you're in expectation, you're anticipating something amazing to happen. She just has one of those personalities right off the bat that just does that for most people. So she's likable. She's one of those people you would think that's very popular, and I can tell right off the bat we do get that in this film. This small town here forgive me, y'all. This small town here. So around here, she's very known. She works at this, works with her parents, and she's a dancer. She's theatrical. She's into the arts. She's amazing, right? And so you just love them together because you can tell she's more extroverted as opposed to Dawson, who seems a little bit more reserved for reasons that we do understand, because number one, you're a guy, and number two, like where he come from, he has come from a lot of loss. So he seems a little bit more reserved as far as like who he's going to make a connection with, because he has dealt with a lot of loss. So he treads softly, and that's what I get from him. But at the same time, you do get a little bit of like he does open up and seems a little bit more, I guess, freer with his best friend London. And so right off the bat, you want them together, and just knowing that that isn't going to be the case here, as y'all know, if I read the synopsis here to you. So I guess maybe that seemed like a disconnection here for me, because maybe I wanted them together so much. I just felt like they were good together. And so when that didn't happen, even though we knew that wasn't going to happen, I guess part of me just never really wanted to move on. So I felt the characters here, when that loss does happen in the film, that the parents, obviously that is their daughter, their only child here. And so you feel that loss for them. And you also feel that loss for Dawson, because that is all that he had. That was his one thing that he kind of lived for, that one outlook, that one thing that made him feel like God is still good at the end of the day, And so when that loss did happen in this film, I guess a part of me was lost as well, because I wanted them together. And maybe that's where that disconnection came in. And so when we meet the next, oh gosh, oh man. So anyways, y'all, I'm back. So we do meet Andy here, like I was saying, we meet Andy. Yes, she seems like a wonderful person, a great member to her family. Seems like she has a positive outlook on life as well. She does grace the screen with a little bit of something different. She does seem, she's not as extroverted, I would say, as London, but at the same time, she's likable, you know what I'm saying? But I guess I was just still stuck on the whole Dawson and London thing, which I know was never really meant to be. So I guess a little bit of part of me was just there. So we meet Andy. I guess my heart was still with Dawson and London, so it was kind of hard for me to move on. So I guess I was stuck in a place that's the same as the parents and even Dawson throughout a lot of the film. I was going to say the majority of the film, but Dawson kind of, moved on and allowed God to heal his heart in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess that happened with all the characters, but of course the parents are going to be a little bit more, stuck there, because that was their daughter, their only child, as far as they knew for all of her life, you know what I'm saying? So I guess part of me, my heart was still there with the parents, still grieving a bit for London. And so it was kind of hard for me literally to move on within this film, even though I see this whole other story unfolding with Dawson and Andy. I told y'all, when I get attached, it is really hard for me to just move on. And so I guess that's probably where that disconnect came from me. And maybe that was the missing piece for me in this film. Because typically with romance, not romance films, I was about to say romance novel, but typically with romance films here, you usually have like that one and that only. You don't really get to see a lot of times someone kind of moving on, even though they never really had something in the beginning. So, and that's what I guess I kind of felt that, and I was still stuck there with London, still grieving for this character. So I do want to say at the end of the day, y'all, I believe this film would be a wonderful film for you, especially if you are like me, you are hopeful romantic, and for many of us out there who do love those particular types of stories, there is a little bit of grieving for us for the past years now. We have not really seen any romance film hit theaters in a minute. So I guess that's where it was for me. Like, you're just really up there, and I want to go ahead, and I know that people probably want to say, girl, why you want to do this, why you want to do that? Everybody want to do this when you talk about romance. You want to bring up Nicholas Sparks and then Notebook, but that was probably one of the most timeless romance stories that we have seen in our time, and so we haven't really seen nothing like that in a minute. And even though I seen like some little things on Karen Kingsbury, I think her Instagram page kind of even mentioning a Notebook, making that connection here. And I guess when you do that, it makes me like really like, okay, is this gonna be it? We've been waiting for something more ever since The Notebook. And so it's just different, y'all. It's gonna be wonderful. You're gonna like it. You do have like the faith-based connection here, which I do love. I always appreciate that in every film, but at the same time, for me, there was a disconnection there. I just felt like that, and maybe I would feel different if I read the books, because that go into more detail. But we didn't really get a spin on it as oh my goodness. I'm all over the place, y'all. I just feel like I have a lot to say, but at the same time, I'm trying to hold back because I ain't trying to really put a lot out here, but I still be wanting to get my feelings out. And so, yes, I feel some kind of way with this film. Yes, it's wonderful. I feel like you all should go see it, especially if you're hopeful romantic, all that kind of stuff. And just to support faith-based films, because we should always support that so we can get more of these films created. But at the same time, I have to be real and I have to be honest that, you know, that's why y'all come to this channel, because, you know, I have to have that. I have to be honest, you know. And I just felt like that disconnect. It kind of felt a little bit short for me. I don't know really why. I can't really say why. And maybe I won't feel this way if I read the books, because the books can go into details. But I just felt like with Andy here, we didn't get enough time to really get to know her, or to, well, I felt like she was enough to really heal Dawson's heart. She kind of fell short for me there. With London, as short of a time that we had with her, you felt that connection with her there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, y'all, but that's just how I feel. And maybe maybe y'all can say, girl, blah, get over it, all right? Probably just grieving for the girl London, the character London. She gone, all right? Dawson had to go on, but still, I don't know. I just really felt that way, y'all. Anyways, at the end of the day, yes, go out. Support this film at your local theaters right now. I know that Karen Kingsbury said from her Instagram page that it was only going to be out for 10 days. Hopefully we can get some more days extended, depending on y'all filling them seats. So go ahead and fill them seats, all right? I promise you, you're going to have a good time. Yes, you're going to have a good time, all right? So y'all just forget about below, just grieving over London and Dawson, okay? Forget about that and just go and enjoy the film. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into our scripture coming out of Psalms 35. And it reads, "For his anger is but for a moment, his favor is for life. Weeping may endure for a night." Girl, oh my, y'all, I'm weeping for London. But joy comes in the morning. That's all I have for you for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. And as always, please remember to leave your thoughts, your comments, your prayers, all that good stuff. I want to hear about it. What are your thoughts? Have you seen this film? You plan on watching this film? Have you read the book? Let me know in the comments, because y'all know I love to hear from y'all. So until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you both now and forevermore.